Built between 1873 and 1879 and recognized as a historic monument, the church is distinguished by a very rich pictorial decoration created by Joseph Thomas Rousseau. Indeed, on its walls and its vault, we find no less than 73 paintings reproducing works by Leonardo da Vinci, Rembrandt, Michelangelo, Murillo, and others, the originals of which can be found in the Sistine Chapel or in various European museums. Among the other treasures it contains are the first drawing of Suzer Cote, 43 superb stained glass windows, a Casavan organ, and the bench of Sir Wilfrid Laurier. To better appreciate it, it's better to come in summer because of the very informative guided tours. The church benefited from a complete restoration for its 125th anniversary in 1998. The high altar and the pulpit, demolished in the 1960s, were rebuilt by a local artist and the frescoes were restored. The restoration was therefore completed in 2001. The church was classified as a historic monument on April 12, 2001 by the Ministry of Culture, Communications and the Status of Women. Its religious ensemble, including the cemetery, the presbytery, and the church, was included in the heritage site of the church, which was established by the city of Victoriaville on July 3, 2006. This beautiful parish church in the town of Warwick, located in the Centre du Quebec region, was erected by the builder Cyrus Ouellet. In 1874, according to the plans of the architect Joseph Ferdinand Pichi, a descendant of English immigrants who converted to Catholicism and who refused to speak English all of his life. The church, like the parish of Saint Médard de Warwick, is dedicated to this saint, born in 456 in Solency in Picardy, and died in 545 in Noyon. When the bishop gave his authorization, the construction of this church was decided at an assembly held in November 1895. Land neighboring the presbytery has also been acquired 6 years previously to accommodate the new place of worship. To cover construction costs, it has been proposed to take out a loan of $1,000, while Father G.E. Caron lent $2,000. At the end of 1896, the current church was blessed, the construction of which cost a total of $5,000. This amount included a purchase at a cost of $76 for a bell from the Saint Christophe d'Arthabascas parish. There isn't much that I could find about this church. It's been built in 1835, and I didn't see this church first when I went to film the other one on the other side of the street, which is more recent. So I saw this after I filmed the other one, and it turned out that it was this church that was built first, and it was used as a church but also as a school. And it's really fascinating to me as a building because I could see in my head people coming in and out like a movie. So this is the church I was talking about, and this one was built in 1871. There isn't much that I could find about this one either, but I know that it's been in use between the time it was built until 1971. So it's an Anglican church, and there is a lot of history attached to it. There is an old cemetery right next to it on both sides, and it's right on the left side of the street when you come from Drummondville to Richmond. I saw it a couple of times, and for me, in this video, it's the most interesting one. I like to drive my car, and I passed in front of this church a couple of times, and this is what made me decide I would like to film churches and tell a little bit of history about it. I think it's interesting, and why I'm doing it in English is because I think that it could interest people outside of Quebec, where most people speak French. This church, built in 1880, originally served an Irish Catholic parish known as St. Vivian's. This is in fact the second location of the St. Vivian parish, as there were previously another building serving this community on Brands Hill, which building was considered too far from the population located in the center of Richmond. This church was built in 1880 to be accessible to more parishioners. This one was built in 1898. This would be the third church of the village. This church is associated with the fame of the brothers Joseph and Georges Félix Héroux, first trained by the architect and sculptor Alexis Millet. The Héroux brother then completed a study course in Italy. They participate in the work of many churches in Quebec and a few in New England. Their sculpture and fine carpentry workshop is located in Yamashish, where they collaborate with several master sculptors and cabinet makers, craftsmen, architects, and entrepreneurs. The Héroux carry out the ornamentation and build many residences in the region. In its beginnings, the parish was called Saint-Joseph de Grand-Mère. It took the name of Saint Paul at an undetermined date. Construction work on the church began in 1906. The plans were drawn by architect Ludger Lemieux and Albert S. Macduff, while the construction work was entrusted to the contractor Aimé Addy. In 1940, the interior design was redone and its work was entrusted to the architect Donat Gascon. The foundations are given a steel frame that can accommodate a concrete floor. The walls were refreshed, the organs replaced, the frescoes revarnished, and other improvements were made. Guido Nencheri endowed the church with its only original fresco, the Apotheosis of Saint Paul. The others were reproductions of great masters created by Louis Eustache Monti, decorator from Montreal. The church also has an Italian marble baldachin made by Carli Petrucci, a Montreal statuary. The roof was completely redone in sheet in 2009. And this church is really special for me because I was baptized in that one in 1980. And this is why this one has a really special place in my heart. The registers of this parish opened in the year 1865, served by mission from 1865 to 1874, date of the appointment of the first parish priest. Canonical erection, January 27, 1864.